and welcome back to another segment of Cooking with Dagmar. It is presented by the Kenton County Public Library in Kentucky. Today we're going to do a Pastelon de Amarillos, that is also known as a Dominican sweet plantain lasagna. So let's get started with the ingredients. Before we start cooking, I want to explain a little bit about plantains. What we need is a sweet plantain or ripe plantain, yellow with lots of black spots. That is great because it's really sweet, and we want a difference between sweet and savory in our pastelon. This is a great plantain. If you find this one, you will have to wait at least a week until it's completely ripe and ready to do this pastelon. You can do a lot of different recipes with this, like tostones, mofongo, bolitas de plantain for soup. There's like little balls that you put inside soup, and it's really, really good. So this is not what we're gonna need, it's this one. And now let's start peeling off our plantains. We're gonna start by cutting the corners off. Then you're gonna make an incision along the plantain. And because they're ripe, you can do this with your hand. If it's a green plantain, you're gonna need the knife to be able to peel away this. And then you have it. And you're gonna make 3 cuts, and that's how we're gonna need our plantains today. I already have boiling water with salt in it to taste. And then I'm gonna put the amarillos already cut and peeled in the pot until they're really, really tender. Be careful when the water splatters because it's boiling water. And while our amarillos are in the boiling water cooking, we're gonna make our beef. To start our beef, turn on the heat on your pan. Throw a little bit of olive oil. I will say about a tablespoon of olive oil. Then we're gonna do 2 tablespoons or 2 good gulps of sofrito. In the comments of the video, there's gonna appear the recipe for sofrito so you can have it and make your own at home. This is a basic thing for preparing my meats, my sauces, my habichuelas or frijoles or beans. Now we're gonna cook this until it's a little bit, I will say a minute or so. Because we wanted to release all those flavors in the olive oil. Keep an eye on your amarillos or plantains, because the water can spill out of the pan too. So while you're doing your beef, keep an eye on them. You can already smell the sofrito working its magic with the oil. And it's a very easy recipe to make sofrito. You just need a food processor and the ingredients, and you pulse everything together until they became like a type of paste. They look like a pesto, but it's not pesto. So now that you're working with that, and you cooked it, and you see that it started to bubble, Now I hear it. It's bubbling up. We're gonna add a cup of tomato sauce. In this case, this little can is already 8 ounces or a cup. And you're gonna mix it well. And again, we're gonna let it simmer a little bit with the sofrito, the sauce, and the olive oil. So now we're gonna turn down a little bit our heat. I have here a pound of grounded beef. Take out the little paper that is underneath. Break it up. And now we're gonna use adobo. Normally I do my cooking by eye, but I will say you will need 1.5 tablespoons to 2 tablespoons, depending on your taste and how salty you like your food. This is open to you to decide what you're gonna do. Cover all the meat all around. See that amarillos are boiling. So I mix well the meat with the adobo. And now we're gonna put a little packet of sazon. It just have cilantro and other flavors. And it will give a nice little color to our meat. So everything, okay. It's gonna boil over. Cut it just in time. Our amarillos are almost done. So I have to keep an eye on them. Put the heat medium high or medium. And then you're gonna taste a little bit to see if it needs more adobo. It needs a little bit more adobo. This whole dish is how sweet and savory are gonna interact. So you want the savory to be there. And now we're gonna cover our meat. It's brown, but we want it to be well cooked. And we're gonna leave them there for about 5-10 minutes at the most. I already have my plantain cooked and drained of the hot water, and now we're gonna prepare them. They were on the heat on the stove for about 5 to 10 minutes because they cook very fast due to their ripe. So you're gonna put it in a bowl because we're gonna mash them. They're so tender. Be careful because they're really hot. So we're gonna mash them with a fork. Go over all of them. They're pretty easy. They're easier than a potato to mash. And you can smell the sweetness of the amarillos. Our meat is almost done, so I'm putting them in low heat while we finish our amarillos, mashed amarillos. Now that you have all of the amarillos mashed, we're gonna put 2 tablespoons of butter and salt to taste. I always cut my butter in small chunks so they will distribute evenly on the amarillos. And because they're so hot, they're gonna melt so easily. And now the salt. You don't want your plantains too salty because the beef is the one that is gonna need the savory part. I'm just giving them a little bit of salt to enhance the sweetness of the amarillos. And they're done. Now we're gonna assemble our pastelon. Now I'm ready to assemble my pastelon. So I have my meat, I have my plantain, and I have 2 cups of cheese in here. Because I like, and my family too, loves our pastelon very, very cheesy, I'm gonna use 3. But the recipe orders for 2. First, I always like to put a little bit of the oil of the meat to the base of your bowl or pan that you're gonna put it in, and you're gonna evenly distribute it all around the bottom of your container. I'm using a square one this time. That way, it won't stick to the pan once you cut it and pull it out. Then, you're gonna put your mashed plantains. So you're gonna divide in half the mash that you did. Now you have it. Now you're gonna pat it well and cover the complete bottom of your pan evenly. This is looking good. Then you're gonna put all the meat. have all the meat in here. Distribute it evenly so you don't have any lumps. And now we're gonna go with the good stuff, the cheese. Cover all the meat, every single inch with cheese. Now we're gonna put another layer of the remaining of your plantains, mashed plantains. And we're putting the rest of the plantains. This part is the one that I always dread because the cheese tend to move. So I try to put it all around, small amounts. And after you have everything put, we're gonna cover it with more cheese. I already have my oven preheated to 375 degrees. And this is gonna go in the oven for, I will say 25 minutes, or until you see the cheese is completely melted and is browning. Don't burn the cheese. And now it is ready to go in the oven. Look at this. It's so full. Look to the side. It's delicious. And this will be the finished product. Your delicious pastelón. It's very, very hot. It's delicious. You can accompany it with a salad, white rice, that's my husband's favorite, and whatever side you prefer. It's delicious, and it's a combination and like a savory, sweet, delicious, cheesy lasagna. Just a few announcements before we go. The summer reading celebration is still going on until August 31st. So you still have some days left to read and fill out raffles and get prizes. You can, for children's 2 to 12, they can win this beautiful t-shirt, Imagine Your Own Story, or a string backpack. For adults, there's still some prizes to fill out your raffle tickets, and teens too. Go to kentonlibrary.org for more information and events to find in our library. Thank you for being with me today, and have a great day.